So a couple of days ago, a rumor gets started that Disney is thinking about, or is going to, I'm not sure which, reskin Tower of Terror to Guardians of the Galaxy. And yes, I have got something to say about that. Okay, fresh baked. You might want to sit down before I tell you this. Now, I want you to know, are you sitting? Okay. I want you to know that this comes from love. That I love you, and that I respect all of you, and your opinions have value. But when I heard that they were thinking about reskinning Tower of Terror to Guardians of the Galaxy, my first reaction was, go ahead. Now, I know a lot of you like this ride a lot, and rightfully so. It's beautiful. It's well themed. It's fun and exciting and scary, and it looks great, and it's a great attraction. It's everything that a Disneyland attraction, in my opinion, should be. Only problem is that it doesn't really fit with anything really that's going on in DCA. For me, it's like a one land or a one ride land. It's all by itself over there. A lot of you will say, well, no, David, it's part of Hollywoodland. It's part of the backlot, that kind of thing. Which, I mean, technically, you're right, and it does fit. It's set in the same time period as Hollywoodland is, and it's a Hollywood hotel. But for me, in my mind, I never made that connection between the Tower of Terror and the rest of the Hollywoodland, mostly because of the way it's designed. It doesn't feel together. There's that big building that separates, the animation building. When you go down, I feel like we're going behind Hollywoodland. We're going somewhere else, and there's no theming from Hollywoodland to Tower of Terror. There's nothing there on the right, I should say. Right. Well, whatever. You guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? There's just that big building there, and it doesn't feel connected. I always feel disconnected about Tower of Terror. Boy, that was a long rant. But really, what I'm hearing from fans is a lot of anger and like no way, this is BS, and this is probably the biggest lie ever told, or the April Fool's joke, or lots of things. So here's a sample of what I'm hearing from fans. Tower of Terror is a haunted hotel set in the 30s. Guardians of the Galaxy is science fiction set in the future or some other alternate reality. To which I would say, so what? Removing the Twilight Zone IP would be disastrous. No, it wouldn't. There's lots of profitable IPs out there. Most of them owned by Disney, in fact. Getting rid of the Twilight Zone IP would actually save them money, and they've got lots of stuff that they can fill in the blanks with. Twilight Zone is not, I mean, it's cool, but it's not that big a deal, really. It really is not that big a deal. Matter of fact, they even show, you can only catch Twilight Zone like on reruns, and like only a few people really even pay attention to Twilight Zone anymore. I'd be willing to bet that there are a fairly large sample of people who don't even know what the Twilight Zone is. Go ahead, guys. I know I'll hear from the people who do know what Twilight Zone is and have watched the show, but there's going to be a fair amount of people who don't know really what Twilight Zone is. But Tower of Terror is so popular. Look at those lines. Why would they want to stop that? Well, they wouldn't. Because the next thing that would go in there, Guardians of the Galaxy, would also be popular and also have long lines. But all of that is missing the larger point here, and it's a really good point that some folks may not be able to see the forest through the trees, as it were. DCA, you guys, is going Pixar Marvel. That's happening. It's got to be. All signs are pointing to DCA going Pixar Marvel only. Really, the only thing left that isn't Pixar Marvel right now is the backlot, is Hollywoodland. That's the only thing, and they're trying. They put the Incredibles over there, and they've got Monsters Inc. And they're trying to squeeze that stuff in there, but it doesn't work. Hollywoodland does not work. The backlot does not work, and we've talked about this. And I don't want to go off on a tangent about the backlot and Hollywoodland, but everybody knows it doesn't work. It doesn't fit with the rest of what's going on in that park. The future of that part of the park is absolutely, definitely heading in a new direction. And don't forget, there's rumors out there, and more than just rumors, I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. It's a thing that's happening, is that they're gonna build a Marvel land. Maybe not on the scale of Star Wars land, but they're building a whole Marvel area right there where Tower Terror is. Right there, okay? Like right behind it. So if you let's say you evolve the backlot or the Hollywood land into something more Pixar-ish, okay, and then you take that other half of that area and make it more Marvel. What sticks out now? What doesn't fit? It's no longer that Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't fit with the Tower of Terror building, which, by the way, wouldn't be a big deal to put a new facade on there and everything like that. That's not as hard as you think. But the complaint was that doesn't fit. Well, what doesn't fit now? If you go Pixar at the back lot and you put Marvel next to the Tower of Terror, is now sticking out like a sore thumb. You know what? And so let's not stop at Tower of Terror and Guardians of the Galaxy. Right next door is Bugs Land. When you start thinking about all the things that they've got planned, the big ideas and all the cool stuff that they can do, Bugs Land just gets further and further away from being relevant every single day. It appeals to just such a small market. It appeals to kids and dorks like me who love Heinleich's Choo Choo Train. And that's it. Nobody wants to go. I mean, people can skip Bugs Land for their entire lives and they'll never be sad for it. Like, they won't have missed anything in terms of what they like and what they want at a theme park. So I would expect Bugs Land to be the next victim of this change, if it's not already in the works already. We just haven't been, the rumor hasn't gotten out yet. But before you guess, Ant-Man. I heard somebody suggest that. I mean, I guess it makes sense, Ant-Man, Bugs Land, all that stuff. They're just going to level it. They're not going to reskin Bugs Land. They're just going to tear it down and build something entirely new or incorporate it into what they're doing with Guardians of the Galaxy. By the way, I want to say that these are just rumors. These are just rumors that have been spreading around the internet a little bit. But having said that, I've got a pretty good feeling that this is legit. That this is about as close as you can get as a done deal. Just by measuring how things have been going, the direction that Disney has been going with DCA and with Marvel in recent the rumors we've heard in the past. So in the long view, this is a totally logical, totally believable, really a totally necessary change. So if DCA is evolving into a Pixar Marvel park, then individual beauties like Tower of Terror are going to be unfortunate casualties. And actually, it's on this note that I kind of agree with the people who are arguing against this rumor. But one of the things that I've long said is that I would prefer it if Disney would stop, making attractions and rides themed after, existing properties. I mean, look at it. The three best rides at Disneyland, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, and Big Thunder. And you could even throw Space Mountain in there if you want. All of those attractions were not, those are original ideas. They were not based on a movie or of some other property. In fact, Pirates went on to create a multi-billion-dollar movie franchise itself, and I bet you could do the same thing with Haunted Mansion if you could just put it together. Disney, get on this, okay? You gotta fix that mistake she made last. Okay, sorry. Haunted Mansion movie, make it happen, Disney. Yeah. So anyway, none of those attractions are existing IPs, and that's not. By the way, that's not a coincidence. I don't think it's possible that that's a coincidence. But having said all that, my little rant there about original ideas, Twilight Zone is not an original idea. It's not a Disney property, but it's not an original idea. It's been around since the late 50s or early 60s, I think. And if it were, I think I would be much more at arms about this. I would be more hurt by this possibility because I do cherish anything that Disney does that's original in its own, that isn't based on an IP. I feel like that's a pretty cool thing, and I really wish they would do more of that. And by the way, that brings to mind another notion that I read, through the discussion forums on this topic, that some people were saying that Disney was ignoring the nostalgia factor and that they're forgetting the nostalgia factor. And I find that argument kind of hilarious for this particular attraction when you consider that it's 10 years old? 10 years old at Disneyland. There's no nostalgia for a 10-year-old attraction. 50. Let's talk about 50. Okay, even then, that's not a long time, really, in the grand scheme of things. But in Disneyland terms, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is, in my mind, a new ride. And on that note, actually, I believe that Guardians of the Galaxy can be just as good, just as exciting, just as popular, just as well-themed and well-executed as Tower of Terror was. Who knows? It might even be better. Think about that, Fresh Baked. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about Tower of Terror? What do you think about making it a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction? If it were to become a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction, what would your concept be? Let's talk about that for a second. What Would you put it like in the prison? That'd be a cool idea because they do that floating thing up and down or whatever. That's a good idea. What about at the collector's place? That whole thing explodes and there's probably some loss of gravity, I'm sure, or something like that. Fresh Bake, give me your ideas. Tell me your thoughts on Tower of Terror. Tell me your thoughts on Guardian of the Galaxy. Tell me your thoughts on what the ride would look like when you were done with it. And until next time, Fresh Baked and stuff. Bye, guys. We've got lots more videos for you to see, so grab a churro and check out our Star Wars Land updates from the Knothole Gang, or maybe our Secrets in History videos. Or you can just watch all of our weekly trip reports and have your mind blown by how much fun we're having. We truly are the best of Disney Bake Fresh Daily. And don't forget, you can support Fresh Bake by joining our Patreon campaign or by buying a Fresh Bake t-shirt. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Fresh Baked! I now feel the pressure to do funny and interesting things. What? I got perma-hug Mickey. I was getting ready to. He's getting on the tripod. There you go, perma-hug. Hold on tight. I feel the pressure to do clever things in my outtakes now. Hold on tight, buddy. Get on there. If only you could see.